Hello and welcome, Aquarius, to my channel. This is a 5-card tarot card overall energy reading for the time period between September 16th and September 30th, 2020. It is a general reading for the larger collective of the Aquarian sign. It is intended for informational purposes. The information may not resonate with everybody, and that's perfectly okay. Take what fits and let the rest go. To save time, I've already shuffled the cards and requested the universe guidance, and the cards selected were ejected on their own and are listed here. The 5 cards that exited during the shuffle for the overall energy reading for this time period are lined up here, and that was to save time. In this 5-card reading, the first card represents the overall energy of the past influences that were significant within the last few months. In some cases, any issues that were present may have been resolved, and others may still be lingering. In the second card position here, this represents the current overall energy that is currently present during this time frame. The third card represents the current overall energy for the future for this time period. And the fourth card represents the overall energy for challenges that you may encounter. And keep in mind that these do not imply challenges are negative. They are just simply provided as awareness. And the fifth card here represents the overall energy for the outcomes for this period. So again, if it doesn't resonate, that it's totally fine. Take what fits. So, in our first card, our past influences, Aquarius, we have the 4 of Pentacles. The 4 of Pentacles here, comes in your past influences, Aquarius. It's asking many Aquarians to sort of examine your relationships with money. I'm picking up that for some, accumulating wealth and investing money wisely was a core issue or concern for many Aquarians during the past few months. But also you were wanting to enjoy day-to-day life. Some perhaps were clinging on to every coin, afraid to spend any money, most likely for fear that you may not have enough, or you could lose it. And obviously with the COVID-19 pandemic, it would make sense. I'm picking up that in a positive state here for Aquarians. The 4 of Pentacles suggests that you created wealth and the abundance by maintaining a steady focus with goals, and that you were acting conservatively for the most part. Many Aquarians were tried to be attentive to your long-term financial security, and many, if you were possible, were trying to save money and watching your expenses. Your goal obviously is to live comfortably, which makes sense, and trying to save money. For some, I'm picking up that money seemed to be a big issue for many Aquarians. Again, this is for the larger collective, and we're either looking at savings plans or family budgets, or even retirement plans or safe investments. Anything that you could sort of the intention was to sort of protecting your assets over time, with an idea to increase it. So this is sort of the interest here in past influences for the larger collective of Aquarians was really money issues. However, the 4 of Pentacles typically accompanies a sort of scarcity mindset, especially with money and material possessions. For many, sort of, instead of spending your cash and enjoying a comfortable lifestyle, many Aquarians were choosing to stockpile your finances. In other words, went to sort of an extreme of worry, and many created very tight budgets that were conservative or strict, and sort of cut away any social pleasures or small pleasures that bring enjoyment for you. And this would have been anything from travel to social occasions, to gifts, to just fun activities. And the purpose was, I'm picking it more out of fear. But this card basically is bringing up of what was the purpose of this. This card basically says that money works best when it can flow and exchange, and not when it's being stashed away, even in a crisis. So it's reminding here, Aquarians, that deep down, many of you may have realized that you're foregoing a lot of happiness and fulfillment in your life in this past few months because you did not want to spend any of your money, and you felt to the extreme it was safer to stockpile it or reserve it. But this card's saying that even in the tough times, you have to spend some money, even if it's in modest ways, and still enjoy life. This card is saying it wasn't necessary to go to an extreme, if that's for those that did. For those that this resonates with, what this card is reminding you, Aquarians, is to find a healthy balance between spending and saving, and that balance, you need to enjoy your fruits of your labor, but also save at the same time. So it's finding a happy medium. The Four of Pentacles here also suggests for some Aquarians that placing too much value on money and material possessions isn't always in the best either. For Aquarians that were attached to material things, allowing possessions to become your life sort of messes up your mission. If you assess your self-worth based on how much you earn, the car you drive, or the expense of your home, or what you can buy for holidays or trips, that's nice, but it's also a catch-22, because as your standard of living increases, so too will the need to work harder and to generate more of an income to sustain that kind of lifestyle. And this typically leaves, for many Aquarians, little time to enjoy your wealth. So this card is just sort of reminding that a balance is important, even in crisis times. The broader lesson here, with the Four of Pentacles, Aquarians, is to honor and respect money and wealth, but don't become so attached that you lose sight of what's most important to you: the friends, family, happiness, and love. For the Aquarians that were struggling with your finances, the Four of Pentacles comes as a wise advisor to you to manage your money and resources more carefully, so that you do not live beyond your means. I'm picking up that many Aquarians were struggling with money because of this. So this card is a reminder that do not spend more than you earn, and that you have a budget and a savings plan in place, even if it's a small one, so that you can have financial goals and live a secure and stable life within your means. Beyond money and wealth, Aquarians, the Four of Pentacles appears, for many, when you're seeking out more control in your life, and this may be related to the national pandemic, when a lot of things didn't make sense to a lot of people. But for Aquarians, in your work, some may have micromanaged and not letting others mess around in your area became too strict. For some Aquarians, in your relationship, you may have been too protective, even possessive, ensuring that no one else threatens what you built on your relationship. I'm picking up that for some Aquarians, on a personal level, some may have had an inflexible sort of attitude to resist change. And this sort of crisis mode made some feel even more inclined to sort of hoard your possessions, whatever they may have been. But this card is saying that, after all, for Aquarians, if you've already established a way of living that works for you, then that's great. Change feels like a threat to many Aquarians' certainty and safety and security in life. And this card is suggesting that of doing things differently, therefore going to thinking about right now planning things differently, and so playing it safe may be the way to go, rather than taking risk at this point. And that seems to be what many Aquarians adapted, and this card was saying that that necessarily wasn't needed. It's just as long as you maintain a balance and that sort of keep a happy medium. In the second card, in the current present state, we have the Princess of Wands, and other tarot cards, this is also known as the Page of Wands, but the meaning is the same. So Aquarians, I'm picking up here with the Page of Wands being in your present state. This is telling me that many Aquarians are inclined to give anything and everything a go. Right now, I'm picking up that many Aquarians are sort of embracing the opportunity to start out on a new journey or a project and see where it takes you. This may have been related to COVID-19 because if many people may have lost their jobs, or people are working from home, and that's sort of a whole new experience and opens up a whole new sort of a way of thinking about work and balancing family and life. I'm picking up that many Aquarians, however, don't necessarily have a solid plan in place right this minute, and perhaps many are still struggling where you're headed, but there is sort of an excitement about the possibilities is what I'm picking up here. For many Aquarians, you have the gift of dreaming up new creative ideas, and that sort of take the burdens of everyday life away. And when you're on that sort of mission for Aquarians, nothing will get in your way of your dreams, which is great. This card here sort of reminds us, while the appearance of the Princess of Wands indicates for Aquarians that you're experiencing sort of this creative restlessness. This card here still sort of shows that there's somewhat you're still standing firmly planted in the ground. In other words, you're thinking about these things, but you're not making a lot of movement towards them. And so I'm picking up that for Aquarians that this is a reminder in your present state that you still need to take a creative spark and ground it down to the reality so that you're ready to be implementing it. So if you have the dream, now you need to have a plan, and this is suggesting that don't let yourself I'm picking up stalemate. Stalemate. I'm picking up that many Aquarians have the idea, but they're sort of blocking themselves from going further, and that's what it means by that the feet are firmly placed to the ground. So idea is there, but there's no movement towards it. So this card is saying that you're holding yourself back, Aquarians, for those that are doing this, and don't be afraid to start to map out your strategy, because it's saying here you may need to test your ideas to sort of create a few experiences before you're committing to anything, and that can be an exciting process. So this is saying it's helpful to sort of run your thoughts through a sort of filter, or writing them out, so that you act on those that are most aligned with your broader ideas and your goals. But it's encouraging you to go forward with this, not to have the idea and then have it be stuck and stay no place. The Princess of Wands here also for many Aquarians demonstrates that there's a sort of spiritual path or journey, and spiritual is anything that, whatever that means to you, that something's calling on you. Aquarians have a curious mind and are often intrigued, to see where this sort of thing that's calling upon you, this inner voice, the sixth sense, may be leading you. I'm picking up that for some Aquarians that you're feeling that you're sort of a novice or not inexperienced when it comes to sort of these internal spiritual endeavors. But I'm picking up that many are open to the experience currently, and you're curious to discover sort of a new levels of consciousness. For those that are not familiar with the laws of attraction and the universe, there are plenty of YouTube videos out here, and it's worth something to look at those videos to sort of understand what the laws of attraction are and how they affect every day of our lives. That if we think positive things, but we also have to be careful what we ask for, because the universe will not deliver anything unless you're ready for it. So there are some great videos to sort of help Aquarians who might be stuck on this to sort of manifest these ideas that you might be having and sort of give you that kickstart, and highly recommended. So if you're sort of fearful of which way to sort of proceed, there are some resources out there, or find a mentor, or talk with people. But what this card is saying is don't get stuck. This is saying that find a mentor or a resource or whatever else, but someone has walked this path before and can help you the way. Just don't let yourself get stuck is what I'm picking up from this card for many Aquarians during your present state. Oops, this way. In your future state, we have the Five of Cups, and here the future state is sort of the things that are within this immediate time frame. I'm picking up here that for Aquarians, this card, the Five of Cups, is picking up in your future state right now. For many, is because that there's a situation that hasn't turned out the way that you might have expected, or you're sad or regretful or disappointed about something, and it could be related to this idea here that you might be thinking about but have been stalled on. I'm picking up that for many Aquarians is that your future state right here is, instead of moving on with your life, you're choosing to sort of wallow in self-pity. And that's what I'm picking up. Don't shoot the messenger. But what I'm picking up is that for many Aquarians, you're just focusing on right now, things that went wrong, or stumbling blocks, or perhaps feeling because you might have tried a certain way and you might have feel that it failed, and why move on. And this sort of ties into this current state here of, if you have an idea but your feet are not moving towards anything, your future state is affected by this. And what this card is basically saying is that it's time to get over it. This card is basically saying, feel the pity, but get out of your system, because set yourself a time limit to be in that self-pity, to be very blunt, and then pull yourself together and move on. This card is like, get over this self-sabotaging behavior, because whatever you're wanting is out there. The Five of Cups here, Aquarian, suggests that if you're stuck in the past and you can't let go, so if you're hanging on to old wounds or bitter memories, or flooding your mind, or whatever you want, if something's coming up that you're thinking about from your past, it may be easy to sort of blame yourself or believe that you're a victim of life sort of circumstances. But Aquarians, these negative emotions are holding you back. And they're holding you back from your fullest potential. So what this card is saying to you, and also would be the laws of attraction, is release the hurts. You're not going to forget them, but you need to release any sort of hurts, release anyone who's ever hurt you, release anything that you might have done in the bad. You just need to release them, and say it out loud. I release any hurts that I have experienced in my lifetime, and send love and light, and you will feel a lot differently. It's about things that are no longer serving you. Maybe these hurts served you at one point, but what the universe is telling you here is that they're not serving you now. You can let them go. And so any negative emotions that you're holding back are creating you from your fullest potential, Aquarians. And this card is saying release them, and you can move on and create the positive change that you want. This card reminds us, Aquarians, that forgiveness is the key with the Final Cups. So forgive yourself and forgive others. If someone disappointed you, find it in your heart to forgive that person, and releasing yourself from that disappointment. If you are frustrated with yourself, know that you did your best, and forgive yourself and release it. And if you made a mistake, or try to look at what you learned from it and make it a positive. In positive, we all make mistakes, so it's about not beating yourself up or anyone else up. Remember too, Aquarians, that hindsight is much clearer than foresight. So and the wisdom in the present moments comes from the mistakes of the past. Oh, I like that. Wisdom of the present moment comes from the mistakes of the past. So that's very good. That's just remember that, Aquarians. So Aquarius, this is about telling you and advising you and encouraging you to reflect on what led you to this point where you are now, and understand, sort of the valuable lessons that you take from any experience, even if they were, not the most pleasant experiences. Look at the positive side. What did you learn from that experience? Because we don't learn from anything if we don't experience, some sort of failure or stumbling block, and that's life's lesson there. So, don't let it mold you into something. Learn from it and let it create you to something. So this card is saying, but you can only do this when you're ready to do it, and that's the key. So this card is saying the universe is giving you the opportunity to be ready to release it, but you have to be ready to release it. So it's time, it's encouraging, Aquarians, to sort of shift your mindset and focus on what can go right at this moment onwards, and be open to sort of the brighter side of life, and know that there are many blessings out there that are waiting for you. And so instead of giving into sort of the glass is half empty syndrome, look at the glass is half full. And again, remember the laws of attraction. If you think negativity, then we attract negativity. So you sort of have to think the positive and turn things into the positive, and the positive will follow. In your current challenges, we have the Tower. Ooh. Now, the Tower represents that there are major changes. So, Aquarians, what I'm picking up from here for your sort of immediate future challenges here is, when the Tower card appears, it's basically saying, Aquarians, expect the unexpected. That typically there's going to be a major change for you, whatever major is. There's going to be an upheaval. There's going to be tearing things down. There's going to be chaos. However, it doesn't necessarily mean it's horrible things. It doesn't mean disaster of a horrible way. It just means that it's a major shakeup of what's going on in your life within what you're used to. And this could be, for some Aquarians, that there is a divorce coming, there's a death of a loved one, there's a financial failure, there's health problems, there's natural disaster, there's job loss, any event that would shake you to your core, affecting your spirituality, mentality, physical stuff. What this card is saying, that there's no escaping it, but this card is saying that change is here to tear things up, because if things aren't happening for you in your life, the universe basically is creating the moment to sort of shake things up, and by creating this sort of major chaos for you is a sort of the wake-up call, and it sort of leads to the path of change. And this card basically is not to punish you or anyone else. The card is to sort of shake you up, to get you alert and open your eyes so that you can make the changes that you need to make. Because if you have not been able to make those changes up until this point, the universe is now saying, well, you got to change, so we're going to shake it up for you. And that's what this Tower card means. It is meant for the highest good. So Aquarians, just think that if you're feeling safe and comfortable right now, in a Tower moment, when it hits you, it will throw you for a loop. It'll be like a lightning bolt of clarity. Insight will cut through all the lies and illusions that you've been telling yourself, and the truth will come to light. That could be the part of the Tower. Things that your world may become crashing down before you, because all of a sudden you never imagined or even realized that you perhaps were building your life on some sort of unstable foundation, or an illusion, or false assumptions, or mistruths, blatant lies, and so on. In some cases, you may have felt that, but you did nothing about it. And again, this card is not to beat you up. It's you're human, and it recognizes that, and you need to recognize that, and that perhaps could be these releasing of hurts that this card was just talking about. It's about time to release those things that perhaps are holding you back. And about being open and honest with them, and recognizing them, and dealing with whatever those issues are. So, this card is basically saying your challenge here, Aquarians, for those that have or this is resonating with, is that now is the time to question what's real and what's not, and what can you rely upon and what you cannot trust. This can be a very sort of confusing and disorienting time. Many Aquarians, have probably felt that something's on the edge here and might have been in denial, but believe me, this is going to happen in some way or the other, because it's saying that it's like water beginning to boil. You can tell when it's starting to boil, and then if it doesn't get turned down, it's going to boil more. So this is saying that for many Aquarians, whatever situation you're in is reaching a boiling point, and it's going to resolve itself in a good way. So even though it can be confusing and disorienting, especially if it does shake up sort of a core belief systems for many, and it may challenge that, but over time, what this card is, the universe in this card is saying that you will come to see that your original beliefs were built on false understanding, and there's a new belief systems that's going to be more representative of reality for you. And so this is meaning that whatever's been serving you up to this point hasn't really been serving you, and this tower, this shake-up moment, is going to bring about the change that you're wanting. So the best way to go forward is to let sort of the structures around you sort of self-destruct, so you can rebuild and refocus. When you get a card like the Tower, Aquarians, what this is saying is you literally really have no choice but to surrender to this destruction and chaos at whatever level it is, no matter whether it's unwanted or painful. Change on this is a deep level, is hard, and this card is basically saying is the change is needed for you in order for you to grow and to move on. But the card is also saying that you need to trust life that is happening for you and not to you. And this is all for a reason. This destruction that's coming around you is about new growth, ready to sort of emerge, and to allow you to evolve. So it is a positive change. It's just you haven't been able to do it on your own, so it's sort of being forced. For Aquarians, after this sort of Tower experience, be rest assured that you're going to grow stronger, and you're going to be wiser, you're going to be more resilient. You're going to develop a new perspective on life that you didn't know existed before. These Tower moments are necessary, so for a spiritual growth and an enlightenment, and it's about truth and honesty that needs to be brought forth, because the positive change that you're looking for is not going to occur until this happens. So trust that even if you experience pain and anxiety, it's a part of life, and you'll get out of it. It's a part of the process. But keep in mind that thankfully, when the Tower doesn't always associate with pain and turmoil either. So it may just make you highly aware and to tune in with your inner guidance system. So again, depending on Aquarians, whether you've been in denial this time or you've been sort of aware but you just need a little nudge, the Tower can work in either way. So it can be major destruction and shake things up, or it's enough to sort of make you do something because you're already aware of it. So having this card here in your challenges is about sort of indicating an awakening and sort of a revelation, and it's going to help you sort of see the cracks forming along or behind you, and so that you can take action before it all tumbles down. So this could be a preventive measure for you, so that you don't experience the full destruction, depending where you are, Aquarians. In the most positive form, Aquarians, please know that the Tower card is an opportunity to break free from old ways of thinking that have been holding you back, and that's the key here. That's the positivity of this. The change is needed. In our outcomes card, we have the Ace of Pentacles, and we have the Ace of Pentacles also in reverse. So we typically know that aces are in the upright position are all about new change, and they're very positive things. They're very good. But Aquarians, you're having this Ace of Pentacles in reverse. So in your outcomes, when you get a reversed Ace of Pentacles, this is saying that for some Aquarians, you're hesitant about moving forward with either an offer, an invitation, or an opportunity, and it sort of fits with that Tower experience. Particularly, for Aquarians, one that relates to your career, I'm picking up in finances or business is what I'm picking up the most part. Some Aquarians, I'm picking up that you may catch yourself sort of second guessing and timing and doubting yourself whether you have what it takes to sort of see it through. Perhaps you see that promotion, but you're not sure if you're ready for it or if you can do it. You want it, but you're not sure. And so you're not moving. So you're just actually, your whole reading here in this time period is about sort of you need to move in some direction, in whether it's a relationship, work, or self-improvement or whatever, but you're holding yourself back from doing it. And your whole reading here is really about that. And this, all of your cards here are saying that move forward, you will be okay. But your outcomes here are saying that you're not moving forward until, well, the outcomes here I'm picking up is don't move forward until you're ready. That's the key here, because if you do it because you feel pressure to it, then your heart's not in it, and that's not what this is about. This has to be when you're ready to do it and you're open to do it. That's the key for productive change. So, like with anything, assess the feasibility of your ideas or what it is that you're wanting to do or thinking about, and assess the outcomes of that. Write it out. Perform your own due diligence and figure out if this opportunity is meant for you or not. Write down pros and cons sheets, or what's good about it, what would change, whatever it is that you're thinking about. Aquarius, the Ace of Pentacles here in the reverse, is also serves as a warning that for a financial opportunity, there could be sort of a pay raise, a new job, or a loan, or a business offer. Something could fall through unexpectedly that you were waiting for, or a third party may retract without sort of an explanation. So, this is also, if you're putting all your eggs in one basket, have a backup plan, because there's a possibility that you're being impacted by something that you were working on, not in an indirect way. I'm picking up this. I'm picking up this phrase of "Don't count your chickens before they hatch." So this is reminding you, for those that if you get an offer, wait till the money is in the bank before you spend it. That sort of thing. If you're trying to sell something, wait till you have the check cleared. All those sort of things. Those sort of experiences. I'm also picking up that here in the reverse card format, the Ace of Pentacles advises Aquarians to be careful with your expenditures again. So this kind of goes back to the beginning here of those that were hoarding and going to extremes, or those that were totally not managing their money. This in your outcomes when it comes to money is be wary where your money is going. It's also saying this isn't the time to get in over your head or take on obligations that have huge monthly repayments. So, in other words, if you get a new pay raise, don't immediately go out and buy a brand new car. Don't splurge just because you got a new job or something else immediately, because it just doesn't advise that. This is basically reminding you to be pragmatic and to allow a little bit of fat in your budget, and just in case you're without employment, because you never know. You need to build the security, but don't do the extreme as you were doing here in your past. It's about budgeting and appropriately. At times, Aquarians, the reverse Ace of Pentacles also suggests that many Aquarians are trying to manifest your goals, but keep running into delays or other sort of impediments. And if you're finding a limit to success, what this card is advising you is that go back and revise your proposed approach. Do you need to realign your goals with something more realistic, whether they're financial, personal, or professional, or whatever? It's about, you may want to seek professional advice, a mentor, but again, remember the laws of attraction. If you're asking for something that's too specific, the universe is not necessarily going to respond if they don't think you're ready for it. So there are resources on YouTube about sort of how to manifest things, and sometimes you have to manifest things in a generic terms, but you also have to manifest how it's going to make you feel, and you need to get your sort of external self in alignment with your inner source and get that balanced. Your inner vibration needs to be balanced first, and you need to sort of picture, if you wanted an abundance of money, for instance, you need to picture, is that money, how that money is going to make you happy, how you're going to live with that. Because remember, money doesn't always buy happiness, and the universe will not issue something if it's not going to bring happiness. So you have to sort of experience and believe whatever it is that you're manifesting is going to make you happy, and is going to bring joy, and is going to bring positive things to you. But anyway, there's some resources on YouTube to sort of check that out. So this is advising that you might want to go back and sort of revise what you're sort of asking for, and perhaps not be as specific because you may not be ready for it, but sort of start out in general terms, and then as you get more comfortable, sort of you work your way to being more specific. Just something to check out. So anyway, I think that's it. Just know, Aquarians, that if you're stalling yourself, this reading is saying the positive things are waiting for you. You just need to re-examine it and or get off the move forward and not self-sabotage, because the positive things are there waiting for you, and that's the takeaway that I get from this. So I hope, Aquarius, this is helpful, and appreciate it, and have a good one, and we'll see you at the beginning of October. So thank you very much.